Hey everybody, Madeleine here to look at the week in between the eclipses. We're in eclipse gateway. We just had an eclipse on the 7th in the sign of Pisces, and now we're going opposite for a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Virgo coming up here on Sunday, the 21st. Now, this eclipse is ruled by Mercury. So we're going to take a look at what Mercury is doing here for the week because it is definitely being very, very mischievous, shall we say, or super active in this week leading up to the eclipse. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share the chart. And first of all, I do want to say that the eclipse hits here on it's going to be a 10 of Pentacles tarot, and it is a Mercury part of the deacons. So they divide the deacons in each sign into three parts, and then they give rulership for that deacon to another planet. So this eclipse, again, has a double Mercury vibe where we have this deacon is ruled by Mercury, but the Ten of Pentacles is the tarot card that it falls in. So we're looking at this is a very abundant eclipse, but we do have a challenging aspect that needs to be looked at for this eclipse, which is that Mars will be squaring Pluto. Mars will be at the end degree of Libra, which usually brings some sort of climactical crisis in action type of a transit when it squares Pluto. Those are the two malefics. So I'm going to go deeper into that in the week. But for right now, I just want to look at Mercury, what Mercury is doing, and how it is preparing us for this big shift that's about to happen in our lives. And again, this is more impactful on certain people's charts than others. But on the whole, everybody experiences this because it will also impact the American chart to some degree, or the global chart. There's a global chart, but the rest of the world. So if it's not happening directly to you, it is probably happening directly to someone that you know or someone close to you. For instance, if you're Pisces, it's happening in your Virgo house, and that's going to be something changing in the life of your relationship. So let's go ahead and share the chart here and take a look at the buildup and the activities of Mercury, who is playful, movement, busy, witty, informative, curious, courageous. And like I said, this eclipse is ruled by Mercury, as Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So our Mercury houses are going to be impacted too. You're going to want to look at your Gemini house. And so here we have this is today, and we have this incredible thing happening with Mercury, right? This is what I want to talk about. So in about a couple of days, Mercury is going to line up to where the eclipse is going to be. The eclipse is happening on Sunday. So Mercury is forming this incredible kite. And now this kite, if I go back to now, the outer planets are making this top of a kite. So every time a planet comes into the opposite Saturn and Neptune, it's going to form this kite. Anytime any planet opposes Neptune, it's going to connect with this and make an incredibly powerful kite. This is like the backdrop, these three planets, the outer planets, all at 0 degrees. And by the way, whenever there's a big civilization shift in civilization, we have at least one of the outer planets at 0 degrees, or the 1 or 2 degrees, 1 0 degrees. Now we have all three of them, which is really mind-blowing to me. But anyway, so Mercury is going to come in on this exact date of the eclipse and form this incredible aspect where some sort of shift flow happens. It's opposing Saturn. I mean, oppositions usually bring conflicts, opposing sides, right? And so there is some kind of a belief shift in the society and in the community world at large at that shifts our perception of what our Saturn is, because Saturn is the government, its structure, it's the rules, the law. It enforces the law. Jupiter creates the law. Saturn enforces the law. So there's some sort of opposition. There's some sort of, this is why it looks like awakenings. This is why these things look like spiritual awakenings, because there's some sort of opposition to the old way. The old ways are dissolving and and falling apart. And that's what's happening in our own life. Saturn's doing that somewhere in our chart. So as this week progresses, we're becoming more and more awakened to the lie of an old structure that it can work for us anymore. So it's slowly more dissolving, some sort of ego, karmic belief, because we're ending a huge cycle here and we're starting a new one. So this is a collapsing. This is this sort of the reveal of the decay of the old way and starting these. That's why these outer planets are all at 0 degrees, because we're starting whole new trends in the stock market. No, new religious beliefs, new beliefs, perhaps no religions. I mean, this is sort of the fall of the religion in a way, the fall of the Piscean era, which is ending right now. And then we're entering into the age of Aquarius with Uranus, the planet that rules Aquarius, at 0 degrees. So we're initiating this big new era with all the outer planets at 0 degrees. So we're getting these big spiritual understandings because the new era is about spirituality, which is the awakening that the material realm is a result of the spiritual, not the other way around. Like the spiritual is actually the more powerful ingredient to life that influences our day-to-day reality. The unseen energies are more powerful than we have given notice to or importance to. Now that's shifting. And so this beautiful sort of divine angelic dissension as we ascend into the higher realm, we're having this angelic protection, angelic support. And so these Mercury oppositions to Saturn, and it's also Mercury is going to make an aspect to Uranus here. I should just take this out for a minute because Mercury and Uranus, I should take these out, cleans it up here. So we're going to have Mercury's going to form a trine. Well, yeah, of course it is. It's forming a trine to Uranus. So there's this very positive new liberating experience around these eclipses, and they're building all week where we suddenly break free from limited thinkings that have prevented us from really aligning with the flow of the cosmos and how to really manifest a better reality. Like all this political crisis and everybody like going against each other politically, they're really out of alignment because that is just a very old paradigm, an old way to we're growing into a time where we really don't have political bias anymore. We just dissolve. We become more focused on how to galvanize the community in the world so that we can be productive and make productive results and that improve the state of living for humanity. We're really out of that. It's like a waste of our energy. So hopefully a lot of people are going to wake up to that in this transit. Now with that Mars squaring Pluto building here, which is no bueno, which nobody's going to like that. Plus we got a Venus squaring Uranus. So there could be relationships, there could be some financial upsets here. I mean, there's some upsetting stuff going on in here. Now, that could be what wakes people up. Now we have, like I say, a Pluto square Mars every year. We all skip through them. They're not to be afraid of, but they are to be cautionary moment or to be cautious about and to not step into any and to really not go anywhere dangerous potentially dangerous or potentially violent or big crowds. Probably not a good day for demonstrations. I mean, demonstrations are definitely happening in the age of Aquarius. See, we've got this Venus squaring Uranus. So there's some kind of, and when there's Venus is about peace, Mars is squares Pluto, which Mars is about war and aggression and fighting. So we'll see, but this is an interesting dynamic where now again, this could end a lot of people's fears around the corrupt or around the powers or around, um, shall we say, um, the fears that have been preventing us from feeling liberated and stepping into our true calling and in our true um, missions and what we're really here to do in the big picture. So it's like there could be a lot of bravery in this eclipse where, because it's Mercury and the third house usually is a very brave, courageous energy, Mars, courageous, ending the deceptions, because that Mars is in Scorpio, which is about hidden. So it's like people see through the deception now. I mean, I hope. And then we end our fears of this Saturn. So we were flipping the energies to where the society, the government and the structures are for the people rather than against the people. There's shifts here happening. What else could that be? So in other words, there's a societal awakening to our spiritual sacredness and that we're giving our power ways to the material. And so we're going to we're going to flip it because that material becomes impure, and that karma gets churned into our fear-based material manifesting things. I hope this makes sense. But anyway, so we're purifying our material experience by shifting spiritually with that North Node in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, and we're clearing old karmic patterns. So whatever challenging shows up, I'll go deeper into these two transits coming up in the week. But I really wanted to look at the Mercury opposition to this is going to happen in a couple of days to Saturn, sextiling Uranus, causing some sort of massive awakening and realizing that our reality, we have more power over our reality if we awaken up to the spiritual, the power of the spiritual influence on it. And that we've been giving our power away to the material or to the some sort of material law that has been hindering us. So we're sort of releasing us. It's sort of like that elephant being chained as a baby thinks it's always chained kind of an energy. And then now we're waking up that we can break free from that. And it is Mercury, which is information knowledge. So we're looking at knowledge information coming in that really breaks us from trapped old paradigm thinking. So we're waking up. That's what this is.